Talking, language, words and sentences. We use them every day.
What's that?
A truck.
What does it do?
You've been talking for so long, you probably don't even remember learning how. You started learning to talk the moment you were born.
Peter's face is very flushed. Why is Kathy angry?
You learned to talk from listening to your parents, your brothers and sisters, your grandparents. First, you made sounds and gestures. Then you said a single word.
Apple.
Then you put two words together.
Sit down.
Pretty soon you were talking in sentences and using all kinds of new words.
That's a daddy pig.
A daddy pig.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Linda Kennedy. I want to talk to you about how important you are. Did you know that you are the one who teaches your child to talk and to communicate? Learning to talk, to communicate with others, is probably the most important thing we learn in our early years. Learning to talk is the first step toward learning to read and write and learn in school. And without good language skills, children can't learn to read and write.
Okay, we're taking number 4.
Reading and writing are just different forms of language. They are the language of school and of work and adult life.
Okay.
Mom said the vacuum cleaner made too much noise for the baby to sleep.
Learning to
As he's
communicate,
setting up the
to read, to write, to talk, is kind of like learning to run. Before you learn to run, you learn how to walk. And before you walk, you learn to crawl.
What did the wolf do?
It's the same with reading and writing. Before you can read and write, you learn to talk and understand what people say.
The stick house, the wolf tried to glue the stick house down.
And before you learn to talk, you learn the meaning of words.
What shapes do you see?
A circle,
Circle,
triangle,
triangle,
diamond.
diamond, great.
Adults, parents, family, and teachers are like a bridge between a young child and talking. They help children learn many important things.
Do you have two shoes? Is one left and one right? Left. Right.
Where does the hat go?
A great time to help children learn to talk is when they are playing and doing fun things with you.
What's that?
What is that?
Yeah. A head.
Even children as young as 1 or 2 years old can learn a lot from just listening to you talk.
¿Ese es el cuerpo de?
Sit down here.
And by talking about what they're doing while they're playing.
I'll put the soup. It's not ready yet.
For young children, playtime is learning time. When we see young children playing and having fun, it's hard to imagine that they're working hard and learning. But that's how kids learn, by playing. When young children play, they're learning how the world works, how to make things happen, and most important, they're learning how to understand words, to talk and communicate.
La tortuga.
You can help just by talking with your child during playtime. By making comments about what your child is doing or the toys he's playing with.
And look at that.
That's very cool.
Asking questions about what your child is interested in.
How does it look?
It looks quite fine.
And showing your child new ways to say things.
Call Rick. Say, I'm going to bring your truck.
Let's.
Talking during playtime is different than teaching.
What should we do for a bleedy, Owie?
When you talk with your child during playtime, you use what your child is interested in to encourage her to talk.
We have very bright color Band-Aids, and we have plain Band-Aids, and we have food Band-Aids.
I would pick Cinderella.
Cinderella. Okay, we have Cinderella Band-Aids for you right there.
The goal is to let your child hear language and give her a chance to practice talking. So your job is to help your child understand and say new words.
Put your finger in the inside.
And learn better ways of saying things.
Where's your finger?
Finger.
You are the bridge between your child and learning. There are things you can do starting today to help your child while you're playing together. Helping your child learn to talk, to learn language, is the key. I'm going to tell you about 3 things you can do just while you're playing. Each of these things will help your child learn to talk more and understand more. Here's the first thing you can do to help your child talk while you're playing. Just make a comment about what your child is doing.
I think he's too big.
Then wait a little bit.
Too big.
Waiting just a few seconds after your comment will give your child time to get ready to talk. Make a comment and wait. Notice how Teresa makes a comment about what Jarrell is already interested in.
This is a big yellow truck. A yellow truck.
Teresa simply described the truck. It's big and it's yellow. That's what a comment is, just a description of the toy your child is playing with, or a description of what your child is doing at the moment. Here's Linda making a comment about what Sumaya is doing, putting the covers on the baby.
So you're putting the covers on the baby.
Linda and Sumaya are playing dress-up. Linda makes a comment about what Sumaya is interested in, her lovely accessories.
Samaya's wearing a beautiful hat. And you're putting a scarf on with it?
In these examples, Linda simply describes what Sumaya is doing. When adults comment about what children are doing, children have a chance to hear new words and how to use them. Making comments also encourages children to talk. Watch what happens when Leslie makes a comment and waits for Will to talk.
Look at that truck.
Leslie simply makes a comment about what Will is interested in, the truck.
Going back.
Will responds by telling her it's going fast. Now let's make a visit to the dentist's office. Watch what happens when Mark makes a comment about his aching tooth.
Oh, doctor, I have a toothache.
Right? Did it hurt very bad and you need
It
medicine?
hurts very bad, doctor.
What's that?
Oh, does it hurt?
Lauren responds with a question. Does it hurt very bad? And you need medicine? Nice job, Mark. Lauren will make a very sympathetic and talkative dentist someday. Here's Kathy making a comment about a runaway dog on the picnic table.
That dog goes fast.
Too fast.
Too fast?
Don't let it get away, Ben. You can see how playtime can be a learning time, even when you're away from home. Here's one more comment. Mark is going to make a comment about something Lauren is playing with.
That medicine looks delicious.
I know it's strawberry.
Mark hasn't forgotten how to use his imagination. I'll bet pretend was one of his favorite games, too. Did you notice how each of these parents just made a comment? Making a comment can be as simple as describing what your child is doing, like, "Oh, you're wearing a beautiful hat," or as easy as describing what a toy is doing, like, "Boy, that dog goes fast." When adults make comments and give kids time to talk, it's easier for kids to talk. It can be really hard for adults to wait long enough for a child to talk. But remember, they probably don't think as fast as you do. A good rule of thumb is to count silently to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To make sure you aren't rushing your child.
Oh, it goes a lot of places. It swims all around.
So the first thing to do during playtime is make comments about what your child is paying attention to and then wait. Give your child plenty of time to talk.
A fish to cut.
A fish to cut. Okay. Is there any...
Swims in the water.
That's true, it does.
The second thing you can do is ask questions. Ask questions about something your child shows an interest in. A toy, make-believe, a silly game. Ask questions and then wait a few seconds. Remember, count to 5. Questions can be hard to answer or easy to answer. The question, "What color is this?" is pretty easy to answer. Here's another question with an easy answer.
Who's this?
A paper.
So much depends on your child and the words he knows.
You gonna make him jump?
Experiment with different types of questions to find out what questions get your child to talk. How will you know what questions to ask your child? I bet you already know. Parents know more about their children than anyone else. You're the expert on your child. Just ask questions you know will get your child talking. Here are a few questions you might want to try out.
Tell me what's in the soup.
Milk and fresh air.
Linda asks Sumaya to tell her what's in the soup. This is a nice question because it has so many different answers. Sumaya can list as many ingredients as she wants to.
Milk and fresh air.
Tomatoes and fresh.
Air.
I never thought of putting fresh air in soup before. I'll have to try it. Asking Sumaya about the soup she is making also lets her talk about what she's interested in at that moment. Remember, children like to talk about what they're interested in, not what adults are interested in. Here's a similar question. Mark asks Lauren about dinner.
And what else should we eat?
And here's some salad.
Uh-huh.
And here's some cereal.
This question also asks the child to make a list as long or short as they want.
Bagel with hummus.
It's a nice way to get kids talking as long as they're interested in the topic. Here's Will's Grandma Ann asking him some questions about the train. Will is already interested in the train and will probably want to talk about it.
Where's the train going?
We're going downtown.
It is? Who's downtown?
Santa's not here.
Where's the train going? Who's downtown? These questions are a little harder because your child has to think about what's going to happen next and then find the words to tell about it. Here's another question that might require your child to think hard about what comes next.
What happens to Frosty?
He melted.
Just think of the possibilities. This question can be answered in so many ways. Here's another one.
He's hungry.
He's hungry. Well, what does Frosty want to eat?
He wants to eat giant food.
I didn't know Frosty the Snowman likes Chinese food. When kids get to decide what the answer to a question is, they come up with some pretty interesting ideas. Even questions that have only one answer still get kids to use words. Let's look at some more questions that have only one answer.
What is that part?
Potato.
Yeah, springy green tail, huh?
A question like,
What is that part?
asks the child to give a label or a name for something.
Potato.
Children usually give short answers to the question, what's that? And there usually is only one correct answer. Here's a similar question.
What else have we got on the table? What is that?
A rabbit.
Kids may say only one or two words when there's only one answer to a question, but that may be just the right amount of talking for a child who's just beginning to use words. Now that you've seen parents making comments and asking questions, you're ready for the last tool that will help your child talk, responding by adding a little more. Responding by adding a little more is different than commenting and asking questions because you do it after your child talks. For example, if your child says truck, you can add a little more by saying big blue truck. Or if your child says hot soup, you can add a little more by saying, yes, the soup is hot. I just took it off the stove. Responding by adding a little more gives your child the next step in making sentences and gives your child new ways to say things. Here's Kathy adding just a little more for Ben.
A ring.
A ring, a big pink ring.
Kathy gave Ben some new words and showed him how they go in a sentence. Leslie is showing Will how to make a short sentence longer so it tells even more. Oh, and watch how patiently she waits for Will to speak.
Frosty the Snowman. No kids, Mommy, no kids.
No kids?
No kids around him.
There are no kids around him singing that song.
Did you see how Leslie added a little more to Will's sentence? Now here's another example of Linda adding a little bit more to a conversation with Chef Sumaya.
I'll put the soup. It's not ready yet. You need to be quick.
Okay, so you're going to cook it a little longer?
Yes, it's not ready yet.
Okay.
And don't touch.
How many more minutes?
Well, we need to be 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Okay, soup will be ready in 5 minutes.
Each time Linda responds, she adds just a little to Sumaya's comments. That way, Sumaya gets to hear new words and different ways to express herself. In this example, Linda gives Sumaya a whole new sentence that means the same thing. Now Sumaya knows 2 ways to get her ideas across.
This is for you, and don't eat.
You want me to wait?
You can see that adding a little bit more does not always mean repeating what the child said with a few new words added. You can add a little bit more by commenting or rephrasing what the child said. Sumaya says, "Don't eat,"
For you.
and Linda says the same thing in a different way.
You want me to wait?
You want me to wait?
Wait.
This is beginning to sound like real conversation. Here's another way to rephrase what your child says. Turn a comment into a question. Watch.
Time to make dinner.
Is it time to make dinner? What are you going to make?
Renee responded by adding a little more, the question form of Taja Ray's comment. Now Taja Ray knows how to make a statement, time to make dinner, and also how to ask the question, is it time to make dinner? Renee is a smart teacher. Taja Ray didn't even know it was a lesson. As your children's language develops, you'll find you're having longer conversations with them, the kind of back and forth, your turn, my turn talking that older children and adults do. Except with little kids, it can be kind of silly and fun.
Drop in here.
Drop him in here. Should we close him up?
No.
Peekaboo! There's Frosty.
Leslie is talking about what Will is interested in.
Close him up.
Okay, go ahead.
Now he's closed up.
Leslie is giving Will time to talk.
Peekaboo!
Will wants to whisper, so that's what Leslie does too.
Now he's hiding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop it out wherever you are. Where are you, Frosty? Where's Frosty?
Look at how much fun they're having.
Santa.
They look like they're having a great time. But did you notice how the entire time Leslie was adding new words, asking questions about things Will was interested in, and making comments? Nice job, Leslie. Here's another great conversation.
Well, thank you, Sumaya, for bringing me water. Oh, that's delicious.
Want some more?
Yes, thanks.
Linda is waiting.
Thank you.
Try some more.
Here's a great comment and a question.
You're drinking the water? Does it taste good?
Yes, it is. Okay, you finished?
I'm finished. Are you finished?
Watch as Linda adds a little more.
Just wash.
You're getting ready to wash dishes?
Linda made comments, asked questions, and added a little more, all in one short conversation. So you only have to remember 3 things. Comment and wait.
Makes a loud sound.
It drives.
It drives, right?
Ask questions and wait.
What was in the soup?
Sweet stuff.
And respond by adding a little more.
A red fire truck.
Here's an easy way to remember the 3 things. Just think car, C-A-R. C is for comment, A is for ask questions, and R is for respond by adding a little more. Now you know some very powerful ways to help your child.
And sing soft, not too soft.
It's important to have fun with your children. Playtime can be a learning time too, but it should always be a fun time.
Say the noise the heart makes.
Beep beep.
Beep,
Beep beep. Bum bum. Bum bum.
Just remember, while you're having fun, encourage your child to talk and express himself using new words.
Peekaboo, I see you. Here's Rusty.
Now, here's one last thought about learning to talk. People come to the United States from all over the world: Mexico, Vietnam, Ethiopia, Turkey, Russia, China, and they usually feel most comfortable speaking their own languages at home.
Vamos a darles nombres a los dinosaurios.
It's important for young children to learn the language their parents speak, the language their family speaks at home.
You want to read or you want me to read?
No, I'll read it.
Language is an important part of culture, and our culture is an important part of who we are. Our culture and our heritage language are treasures we give our children.
¿Quieres agua? Ahorita vamos a traer agua.
Many times young children do better learning English if they learn the language their family speaks at home first.
¿Estos círculos son grandes o pequeños?
Grandes para otra escalera.
When talking with children during playtime, be sure to always use the language you are most comfortable with, the language you speak best. So today when you get home, take time to play with your child. Practice making comments and waiting, asking questions and waiting, and responding by adding a little bit more. Be sure to talk about things that your child is already interested in, and don't forget to have fun. You don't need expensive toys, just regular stuff from around the house. Cups and saucers, empty boxes, sticks from the park, old clothes, silly hats. Children have enough imagination to make any object a great toy. It might take a little while for you to feel comfortable making comments, asking questions, and adding a little more. But be patient. Give yourself some time. Practice every day, and you'll be giving your child a better future. Language is the key.
How does it look?
It looks like fine.
That's fine. Zelaya's wearing a beautiful hat.
Now you sing some. Sing a longer song. Sing soft, not too soft.
Jungle Heart Hunting.